Sitting behind me is my beloved Subaru Outback XT. It has 4 cylinders, a turbo, 2.5 liters, and is a blast to drive around. Yet, what about this car is so important to my speech today? Well, it is a Japanese car, similar to many other cars that are driving on our streets today. Even though America is the birthplace of the automobile industry, it has seen massive decline since the days of Henry Ford. On the other hand, foreign cars have come to dominate the market, outselling many of the cars designed and manufactured in the US. What has led to this decline in our own domestic cars underperforming compared to companies like Subaru and Toyota? Well, the US automobile industry has seen massive decline due to the quality of foreign cars, the exponential rise of petroleum prices, as well as from negative outlook from the press. You might ask, does the quality of a car really matter, as well as the gas prices? And does the press really hold that much say in what cars are good or not? Well, hopefully by the end of this speech I'll be able to inform you about it. Now, to understand how the US automobile industry got to where it was, we have to understand where it began. And this began with the creation of the automobile in Germany in 1886. Now, this car was called the Benz Patent Motor Wagon, and it was created by Carl Benz. Carl Benz might sound familiar because he went on to create Mercedes-Benz, which is a car company that is prevalent around the world today. Now, the Benz Patent Motor Wagon only had a measly 0.75 horsepower. Excuse me. Only a fraction of what the top cars can do today. Compare that to a Bugatti Chiron, which has upwards of 1,600 horsepower, which is quite a bit more powerful and faster. Let's fast forward to 1908. We see Henry Ford come into the picture, and he begins to sell his affordable and innovative Model T. And the Model T sold over 15 million units in its lifetime, which is quite a lot. And the Model T served as a sign of both innovation and wealth to the growing middle class of the United States of America. So it was a very influential car for the whole of the United States. Now, as time goes on, we see foreign cars begin to outsell and outperform American produced cars. Why is that? So, first of all, Japan has safety and quality regulations on cars designed and manufactured domestically. So their quality regulations are much higher than ours, and they have standards they have to meet before they can actually sell their cars. And according to Hamant V. Kerr, a professor of operations management at the University of Delaware, while the reliability of all vehicles will decline with age, vehicles made by Japanese firms will have higher reliability over the 1998 to 2007 decade compared to the reliability of vehicles made by US and European firms. And this difference will increase with vehicle age. Now, from this we can gather that Japanese cars are made to be more economical, reliable, and long-lasting when compared to their American competitors. There was a statistic that I found quite interesting that most American-made cars are from Japanese manufacturers. So if you live on Purdue main campus, you've probably seen the Subaru plant really close by, and that's just a good example of that. And a statistic I found for this is that over 2/3 of America's top 15 vehicles produced in America were made by foreign manufacturers. So Subaru, Toyota, Hyundai, all those kind of companies. And this is more than Chrysler, General Motors, and Fiat, who are all American producers. Now, with the rise in sale of Japanese and other foreign cars, we can see a direct correlation between the car someone will buy and the price of gas. So, first of all, why have we come to rely so much on petroleum and gas? So, America, as well as most of the world, has grown to rely on fossil fuels for much of our everyday lives. They power our homes, they power our cars. We basically can't live without it as a society at this point, which is quite unfortunate. And according to the International Energy Agency based in Paris, they have projected that the world energy demand will increase from about 12 billion ton oil equivalents in 2009 to either 18 billion ton oil equivalents or 17 billion ton oil equivalents by 2035. So until more sustainable forms of fuel are implemented, the world will continue to use these fuels at an ever-increasing rate. Now, where does most of America's petroleum come from? A common misconception is that most of our oil comes from the Middle East, and that is simply not true. According to Testing Substitution Between Private and Public Storage in the U.S. Oil Market, a study on the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the U.S. Energy Information Administration recently projected that the U.S. net energy imports might be eliminated in the 2020 to 2030 timeframe, and import levels have already declined from 60% of the total oil use in 2005 to 45% currently. From this, we can gather that America actually controls much of our petroleum and oil reserve. So it is the prices stem from how much public and private enterprises have in supply. So from this we can go into that the price of petroleum fluctuates due to the supply not meeting the demand of the product. So if there's a high demand and the supply does not meet it, then the price will go up. And this rising in the gas price can affect what car someone will get. Being that Japanese and other foreign cars are both economical and fuel efficient, they are more sought after in a market with rising gas prices. According to Austin Goolsbee, a professor of economics and a former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors for the President, greater variability in gas prices is associated with higher sales, as households may adjust their model of car in response to recent movement in gas prices. Now, from this, I would like to focus on a case, which is the 2008 financial crisis. During this time, gas prices went up a lot in price. So American cars really suffered from this. And from what we've seen earlier, gas prices can affect what car someone gets due to the likeliness that the individual will base their model off of current and future gas prices. And Austin Goolsbee, when he said on the 2008 financial crisis, a number of factors have taken a toll on the demand for cars from the big three manufacturers over time. The widespread perception of perennial quality and reliability issues, lower resale values, poorly received new models, and the lack of low gas mileage cars at times of rising fuel costs. While gas prices might be a problem to some, to the press, sometimes using petroleum at all is a problem for them. So the press mainly has shown disapproval for domestically designed and produced cars, and due to the lower quality automobiles that America seems to produce, much of the press advocate for the purchase of foreign or alternative automobiles. For example, Tesla. Tesla mostly has had positive reception from the press due to it being eco-friendly and easy to use. As well, it uses electricity instead of petroleum, so it is helpful for the environment. And this closely relates to what Tocqueville outlined in his political case study, Democracy in America. And he said, freedom of the press makes its power felt not only over political opinions, but also over opinions of men, and it modifies not only laws, but morals. So from this we can gather that the press has the ability to influence which cars someone will prefer over the other. Now, why do I believe that the automobile industry is so important to the U.S.? Automobiles were perfected and able to be sold at affordable prices thanks to U.S. entrepreneurs. Detroit, Michigan is the birthplace of the automobile industry, and currently the city is a shell of its former self. There are almost no car manufacturers still present within the city bounds of Detroit. America's automobile industry has decided to make cheap, fragile cars instead of committing to quality American-made products. This allowed foreign manufacturers to capitalize on America's ignorance and has only served to devalue American manufacturers. Now to conclude my thoughts. Although the United States had a promising start with the invention of the automobile, they had lost to foreign competitors due to the rise in gas prices and the hard to argue with quality of foreign cars. Due to the decline in the quality of cars, the rise of petroleum prices, and the negative viewpoint from the press, the U.S. automobile industry has seen a massive decline when compared to their humble beginnings. Now, next time you're driving out on the street, what cars do you see people driving? Are they driving American-made cars or Ford-made cars? Thank you for your time.